India's chief economic advisor V. Anantha Nageswaran has given hope of relief from America's steep trade tariffs. Speaking in Kolkata, he said that he expects the duties imposed on Indian imports into the US to be rolled back after the 30th of November. The higher 50% tariffs came into effect just recently, and they apply to almost all Indian goods entering the US market, though key categories like iron and steel, aluminium, passenger vehicles, auto parts and certain copper products have been exempted. The tariffs were first invoked by US President Trump under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, a Cold War-era law designed for sanctions and financial controls during foreign emergencies. India was initially hit with a 25% levy that was doubled to 50%, escalating trade tensions. But Nageswaran has struck an optimistic note, saying that ongoing discussions between New Delhi and Washington are progressing well. In his own words, I quote him over here, "I believe that the penal tariff will not be there after November 30th, and there will be a resolution in the next couple of months." He also pointed to India's robust export performance, currently at $850 billion annually, with a clear trajectory towards the $1 trillion mark. And that would account for a quarter of India's GDP, signaling, as he put it, a healthy and open economy. For now, about 30% of India's exports to the US, worth around $27.5 billion, remain duty-free despite the hike. But the government is hopeful that a broader trade resolution is on the horizon.
Important, and including the important negotiator being in India in the first 2 days of this week, I do believe that there will be a resolution in the next couple of months on the penal tariff and hopefully on the reciprocal tariff also. So whatever impact that is there because of the affected sectors, which by the way is 45% of overall exports to the US, and in the first 5 months of the current financial year, we have already exported half the amount we exported last year to the US, etc. Keeping all those things in mind, we hope that the impact will be limited to the current financial year. Of course, if it continues into the next financial year, there will be an impact on growth, but it's hard to quantify these things because it is not just the actual export loss, which is very easy to calculate. That's a very small sum. But naturally, it will have implications for sentiment, investments, employment in those industries, and therefore consumption, etc. This is very difficult to quantify and it will be very imprecise. But nonetheless, our hope is that our exports have been growing quite well. We are between services and goods. We are now exporting close to $850 billion a year, and we are on top. We are on track to reach $1 trillion of exports, and an economy of the size of $4 trillion, that's 25% of GDP, which is a very healthy number. We are not a closed economy. We are an open economy in that sense.